In a 2-hour meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, elected officials and Hudson County activists alike debated what the next step should be over the death of Rolando Meza Espinosa, who died at the Hudson County Correctional and Rehabilitation Center after being detained by ICE. The majority of those in attendance were there to follow up on how the county will investigate the death of Rolando Meza Espinosa, who died while being held inside the Hudson County Jail in Kearney on June 10th after being detained by ICE weeks earlier. In front of the board was a resolution that would create a 4-person ad hoc medical review committee to examine the procedures that took place at the jail before Espinosa's death. Freeholder Bill O'Day called the situation a tragedy, but also said it was the board's duty to review the care provided by the CFG Health Network.
It was the wrong Mr. Espinosa. That in itself is a tragedy. To what occurred with the care he should have received from the minute an intake was done at that facility on through the point in time that ultimately he passed away. We as a board have a legislative obligation because we have a multi-million-dollar contract with an outside provider to provide medical services at that facility.
Troy Mack, a representative from Veterans for American Ideals, was one of several speakers who felt the agenda item in question was too short-sighted.
With respect, Freeholder, and with deep respect for your advocacy on such issues, that this agenda item should be tabled precisely because the scope in which it is written presently only calls for an evaluation of the medical services that are being deployed presently at the facility. But what motivates myself, my fellow veterans to show up here today, is that we understand this death, which has been described as a tragedy, we understand it to be an inevitability.
Hudson Civic Action founder and executive director Steve Ramshur agreed, calling for a fully transparent, public investigative hearing.
It is too late to uphold liberty for Rolando Meza Espinosa. However, today we have the opportunity to live out our professed values and principles by working toward justice for Mr. Espinosa, by holding a fully empowered, transparent, and public investigative hearing. With respect, the resolution the board is voting on today, however well-intentioned, is nevertheless deeply flawed. First, there will be 4 freeholders rather than a higher number on the ad hoc committee. At 5, the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, OPMA, kick in.
Jersey City Attorney Howard Moskowitz was particularly angered by the fact that the ad hoc committee would only have 4 members instead of 5, meaning that their proceedings would not have to operate under the Open Public Meetings Act.
If you put 5 members on there, only 3 show up. It defeats the purpose.
Freeholder, why don't we do the same as to this meeting? Instead of having your...
It is not, there's non-members here.
Let's provide the information, you provide the information to us later. That's not what the Open Public Meetings Act, which is one of the most important acts in the state in terms of governance by local and state agencies, is all about.
Moskowitz was nearly escorted out of the room by a sheriff's officer after he refused to sit down when his time expired, but cooler heads prevailed. Al Campana, the chief operating officer of CFG, said they are open to any form of oversight or investigation when a negative outcome occurs.
If we have a negative outcome or unexpected negative outcome particularly, there is an investigation and there is responses. We are accountable. And I wanted everybody to know that, and I also wanted to say that we are open to every form of oversight, investigation, and inquiry into how we do our operations.
Eventually, the measure was unanimously approved by a vote of 9-0, with freeholders O'Day, Maldonado, and Romano assuring that this was just the first step of the process. Romano also defended the conditions of the jail, specifically those who said they were deplorable.
I think the word deplorable, this freeholder board or this executive branch wouldn't stand for that. And I know freeholder O'Day has made visits as well as the other freeholders. I know that when we voice concerns, we're proactive about it, whether here in the open or at public safety meetings. And I know that the inmates are offered so many different programs. I don't know what facilities in this country offer as many as we do.
Even after the vote, Some public speakers took the time to ask the board not to renew their controversial 287G agreement with ICE, including American Civil Liberties Union staff member Andrea Long.
And we at the ACLU urge the Board of Chosen Freeholders to sever all ties with immigration and customs enforcement. ICE officers routinely violate the human and civil rights of immigrants, and these violations have become more numerous and egregious under the Trump administration. With regards to civil rights, ICE policies and procedures commonly violate the 4th and 5th Amendments of the Constitution.
I'm Heinis with the Hudson County View, the eye of the community.